So hello everyone, and welcome to the Kupferberg Holocaust Resource Center and Archives. I recognized most of you, so I think the welcome is maybe not as crucial as it is at times, but we appreciate you coming, and I know that our students are very excited to have the opportunity to share some of their experiences with you from over the course of this past semester. We changed the format of this showcase a little bit from previous semesters so that we have a representative of each of the internship groups speaking today rather than having each of the students present as we have done in the past. Each student will still have a chance to present on their findings from the semester in their own classes. But those, while you're welcome to attend, they aren't events that we've advertised to the public. So, first of all, I wanted to let you know a little bit about what this internship program is all about. We offer each semester here at the center 3 student-focused mini courses. Sometimes we call them seminars. Generally, we call them internships, but internships is a little misleading for anyone who ever has had an internship. I'm sure it was nothing like this. Our students meet over the course of about 13, 14 weeks for an hour each session, and they learn in great detail and depth and complexity and nuance the history of one of 3 issues of profound societal importance, one of which is the Holocaust. We have another session that is involved with what we call Asian social justice. You'll hear about it as we move forward. And we have another session devoted to exploring the issues and impacts of hate crimes in our community. And we have representatives of each of those 3 internships here today to share with you a little bit about what happens in those internships. We call them internships, I think, at the base level, because what we're trying to do is to prepare young people for the world they're going to face once they leave this campus, which is kind of the function internships play. But what is it we're trying to prepare them to do? Our internships are not classes. The students do not receive credit for the immense and dedicated work that they give to this program. Our students get what we consider to be basic life skills. What are some of those skills? Listening, interviewing, researching, thinking, discussing amongst themselves, deep reflection. In concrete terms, the students from the Holocaust program and the Asian Social Justice program conduct life history interviews with survivors of those genocide and mass violence experiences. They prepare for how to conduct an interview. They do the interview. They do follow-up research. They prepare reflections. The students get to study an issue on paper and then engage with the survivor of that experience in person. And as you will hear from them today, that connection, the bringing together both of the book learning, the traditional classroom style, which provides the preparation, lays the groundwork that makes possible the profound transformative experience that the meeting with the survivor then solidifies. The students in our hate crimes internship, while they do not have the opportunity to interview a survivor, although that is something we hope to introduce starting with next semester, they do have the opportunity to hear from a whole host of guest speakers from the Queen's DA's office and from representatives of various ethnic groups that exist here in Queens to learn more about how that affects individuals within our community, how hate crimes upsets lives and can transform people's homes into a place where they feel not at home, can deprive them of the feeling of having a home and of being at home. So we're very proud of our students who, as I said, don't get credit for participating, but take this time out of their busy schedules. I don't know how familiar all of you are with QCC students, Queensborough Community College students. Most students have jobs. Most students squeeze this in between a bunch of other commitments to family and community, and to take the time out of their busy schedules to devote to learning more about the experiences of the victimized. They're not here taking an entrepreneurship class. This isn't Shark Tank. They're not networking. They're learning how to become sensitized to the voices of victims. And that profound choice is frankly shocking. That in our society, with everything we think, with what Twitter tells us and what the internet tells us and what the news cycle tells us, these students have chosen a different path for themselves, and it doesn't end here. Today is just the opportunity for them to share with you where they are at this point on their trajectory as they continue to grow into the next leaders of our societies. And as I said last time I did this, I feel very comfortable thinking of them as our next generation of leaders. So we're very proud today to share our interns with all of you. I would like now to take this opportunity to recognize some of the supporters of this program that are here with us today. But I'd like to start, first of all, with our Queens elected officials who are tremendously supportive of the Kupferberg Holocaust Center in general, but especially of the internship programs. And I would like first to introduce Assemblyman David Weprin.
Thank you, Dan. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity for the interns, very special interns at a very special place. I actually remember I was in the city council for 8 years, and we had a series of hate crimes that occurred in a short period of time during my city council days. And the Speaker of the City Council at the time was Christine Quinn, and she proposed a New York City Day Against Hate. And Dr. Arthur Flug will remember this because he was at the center at the time. And we chose a site for an event in all the 5 boroughs, one site in each borough, as a kind of a National Day Against Hate or a New York Day Against Hate, and we chose the Holocaust Center for the Queens location. And it was a remarkable experience having students participate in this Day Against Hate, and I'm really so happy to see that one of the internship programs is specifically dealing with hate crimes, because a hate crime against one group is really a hate crime against all of us. And it's so important that we all speak out against hate crimes wherever they rear their ugly head, whether it's a group that we have an affiliation with or whether it's a group we have no affiliation with. But it's so important that we all speak out whenever there is a hate crime, and we speak out with a diverse group, with coming together, as I mentioned, because one day it's one group, another day it's another group. But I'm very proud of the work that the Holocaust Center has been doing, first under Dr. Arthur Flug and now under Dan Leshem, is doing a great job. And really, this is a gem. This is the only Holocaust Center on a public university that I know of in New York, as part of the CUNY system, a wonderful institution here at Queensborough. And I'm proud that I was able to actually be involved in the first government money for this center. We did a $1 million grant when I was in the city council it was my initiative, and we kind of got started for the Holocaust Center to get into this beautiful new building, because for those of you who remember, and I know some of the long-standing members remember it very well. I'm looking at Sandy Delson, because she remembers it well. The Holocaust Archives and Center were all headquartered in the basement, in a library, in the administration building, and it wasn't visible to the public. It didn't have the same importance, and I know the college thought it was very important that we really bring the Holocaust Center into prominence. And former President Dr. Edward Marti and, of course, our current President Diane Call thought it was very, very important to bring the Holocaust Center into a place where we could kind of showcase it as an important part of the college. And of course, we all want to remember history, at least we repeat it ourselves, and certainly not the history that we're studying about that took place is obviously a dark cloud on our history, but it's so important that we teach our young people that these events of the Holocaust and other genocides occurred. They actually occurred, and if we don't discuss it and learn about it, we're destined to repeat those type of events. So hopefully we won't have to be in that situation again. But I want to thank Dr. Dan Leshem and Dr. Arthur Flug for his leadership and all the college professionals to really help in this internship. And we have official assembly certificates that we're going to leave for everybody, along with some of the other electeds have also left citations. So hopefully the interns will all have their own wall of official government citations. But I know this has been a great experience and will continue to be a great experience. And congratulations to all the interns. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I also want to acknowledge that council member Barry Grudenchik had a scheduling conflict, but he did send one of his aides, Spencer Nelson, who is there in a gray suit, and he also brought certificates for the interns from Councilman Grudenchik's office, and we've also received certificates from council members Drum, Vallone, and Assemblyman Ed Bronstein. So you do have the beginnings of a shrine wall to remember and mark the important work that you've done here. And with that, I want to introduce you to the first group of interns. The first group that's going to present today is from our Hate Crimes in Our Communities. And the instructor of that section is back there in the corner, and her name is Jennifer Hickey, who wears a lot of hats around here. But let me just tell you a little bit about some of them. So Jen received her BS from Northeastern University and later a Juris Doctorate from Brooklyn Law School. She is the coordinator for the Hate Crimes program. She was in spring and was again this fall. She's also one of our administrative coordinators here at the center and leads class visits, discussions, and gave a very interesting talk to our Holocaust survivor group a couple weeks ago on the Nuremberg trials. We had an anniversary, and she spoke very quickly but conveyed a lot of information. And so with a much slower speech today, I invite Jen up to the mic.
Thank you. I've been practicing talking slowly. So as mentioned, my name's Jennifer Hickey. This is my second time leading the Hate Crimes Internship. And as an instructor, one thing that really brings me a great deal of joy, which you really see a lot at these showcases, are, the repeat students. I know one of my students from last term's Hate Crimes class is this year in I believe the Asian Social Justice class. And one of my interns in this semester Hate Crimes class actually took that internship last year as well. So you'll find that a lot of the students who do volunteer their time for these really socially conscious internships do continue to do so and do build up a relationship with the center and with the other instructors here. And that's something that we all really enjoy seeing, and watching that grow is really great. So just a bit of an overview of this semester's hate crime internships. We were a class of 5. Unfortunately, 2 of our students are in class today and cannot be here at the presentation. But we do have Yuanbing Liu, Indira Jean, and Chowdhury Rahman. They'll be presenting today. It's a bit of a 2-part presentation. The first part is more of a group presentation where they'll go over the definition of hate crimes, the federal level, the local level, New York City specifically, and then a little bit of information about why the Kupferberg Holocaust Resource Center and Archives, includes this as one of our internships. It is, of the three, a bit of the odd child out. We don't really do many interviews with survivors of hate crimes, but we do more have a lecture series of, as Dan mentioned, leaders from different community groups come in. We have speakers from the Queens District Attorney's Office, the New York Police Department, and they really, help explain to our students not only the process of arrest and conviction and punishment, but also, how as an individual you can help communities, either the one you're a part of or one that, you grew up with. At Queensborough, we do have a very unique perspective on diversity. Queens is the most diverse community on the planet, and I think that really brings a lot of interesting topics to discussion, especially in my class, because so many of my students, including myself, have so many different perspectives and ideas and histories based on who we are in this world today. So, after the group presentation, they will also be discussing individually hate crimes against Palestinians, African Americans, and the gay community in America. All right, so without further ado, let me introduce my hate crime students.
Hi everyone, I'm Chowdhury. I'm the first person to go, and the first thing that we learned in our hate crimes internship was exactly what hate crimes was. So the first thing that we learned was what a hate crime was, and it's defined as a criminal offense against a person or property motivated in whole or in part by offenders' bias against race, religion, disability, ethnic origin, or sexual orientation. So basically anything that a person is affiliated with, a social group. The term, it's important to know that the term is a post-World War II term, and even though it's happened over and over again in human history, it hasn't been recognized as an actual own crime. It hasn't been distinguished. Many countries do not allow hate speech in Europe after World War II because of the Nazi slaughter of Jews. Hate itself is not a crime in America because it's protected by the First Amendment and our freedom of speech. Once a person uses a hate crime to hurt another person, then it's illegal.
New York City hate crime is important to us because it's stuff that is going on around us. And there was 588 incidents that happened, and it was reported to the law office. 63 were Jewish, 15% were blacks that had properties damaged, 32% was gays who were physically attacked, 19% was blacks, and 15% were Jewish.
I want to talk about why the Harriet and Kenneth Kupferberg Holocaust Resource Center and Archives offer hate crime courses. Well, first, let's look at the center, the Holocaust Resource Center, and Holocaust, a genocide in which approximately 6 million Jews were killed by Hitler's Nazi Party and its collaborators. Without a doubt, it was a huge hate crime. And the Holocaust Resource Center offers a hate crime internship for raising people's attention toward hate crime. As we all know, a single spark can start a prairie fire. Today, a hate crime is a single person against the individual. Tomorrow, it can grow to a group, and the hate will accumulate like a snowball gets bigger and bigger. Finally, it may become something out of control. Just look at the history. History is repeating itself, and even right now, there's still genocide happening. So to prevent the tragedies, we have to keep remind ourselves, do not let the tragedy happen again, and do not forget history. We study hate crimes, we discuss it. When we understand it, we will not do it again. Thank you.
I'll talk about hate crime against African American. Dylan Roof was a 21-year-old boy who went into a church in Charleston, and he killed 9 people because he was against African American. And if you look at the headlines, it goes to show that he was a normal person. He wasn't against KKK. He wasn't cloth any different, and he just went in killing people.
I'm going to talk about Palestinians in Israel. In July 2015, a baby was burned to death, and 3 of his family members were seriously injured after Israeli settlers firebombed their house and one other, even though there's no other casualties in the other house. There has been vandalism found in their house, reading "Revenge" and "Long Live the Messiah" in Hebrew. They think that it was extremists and Jewish activists. It's usually not allowed for most places to have those kind of crimes. In Israel, the Supreme Court has held that discriminatory speech has constituted the crime of sedition in certain contexts. In the court case Kahane and State of Israel, the court determined that one of the parliament's candidates was distributing leaflets calling that the government should bomb an Arab village which endangered in most certainty that the values of public order by inflaming hospitalities and hatred between Jews and Arabs. But according to the court, words are liable to inflame passions and hatred and lead to violence. But although it didn't stop this happening, in New York, these can translate over because there are a lot of Palestinian activists and a lot of people get attacked because of that, but I think the younger generation won't see that as much because of the diverse community that we're in, especially in Queens. So hopefully that won't happen here anymore.
I'm going to talk about one type of hate crime motivated by sexual orientation bias. We all know that Supreme Court declares same-sex marriage legal in all 50 states on June 26 this year, and same-sex marriage family also allowed adopting children. There are also many other protection and law for them. My point is, even though we are in such an open-minded century, but there are still prejudice and bias toward LGBT people. And I want to show a real hate crime case just happened a month ago, very recently. A transgender woman was shot and killed in Maryland. Her name is Ziona. According to NBC News, a witness said there was a group of 4 or 5 young men near her in the aisle between 2 shopping malls, and she was sound like arguing. Later on, the murderer, Rico Hector LeBlanc, was arrested, and the police find out that he had a friendship with the victim. He killed her because his friends find out that he has a transgender friend, and he thinks Ziona greatly embarrassed him in front of his friend. The motivation is very obvious because she is transgender, so there is crime, there is hate in his mind. And he didn't want anyone to know that he has a transgender friend. So we can refer that his friends maybe make fun of her and or also dislike transgender person too, which is very terrible. There is no reason to hate a person for who they want to be, and there's no reason to kill someone just because we don't understand. We are all different, and I think that's an amazing thing. That's not a bad thing. And the differences formed a diverse and interesting society and world. To prevent hate crime, we should first abandon the bias, respect others, and try to help whoever needs help. The famous figure Caitlyn Jenner accepted Arthur Ashe College Award. She gave an inspiring speech, and I want to use a quote from her speech to finish my presentation. Accepting people for who they are. Thank you.
Well, thank you again to all of our hate crime interns. Your presentations were very interesting, and thank you to all of you for coming and showing your support for our interns this semester. We hope to see you again the rest of the year.
Thank you so much. I'd like now to invite up the, we're going to now hear from the Asian Social Justice internship group. But before we do, I want to give a chance, I don't know if you know this already, but we've been doing the Asian Social Justice internship for about 4 years now. And it's always, since the beginning, been a wonderful example of a public-private partnership between Queensborough Community College and the Kupferberg Holocaust Center and the Korean American Civic Empowerment Group, KACE. And I'd like you all to join me in welcoming DC Kim from KACE. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'd like to especially appreciate Dr. Flug. Yeah, we met Dr. Flug and then we started this program, and he gave us good idea. And I'd like to thank you all, our survivors from the Holocaust, and then you are teaching what is the human rights to our new young generations. I appreciate your teaching. And I believe our interns will work to dignity of the victims of the Comfort Woman victims, to dignity of the, you guys will work for to restore the dignity of Comfort Woman victims. And I believe also you guys will make the better human being society. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I must say that the instructor for this course since the first semester has been Dr. Jimin Kim, who does a remarkable job, and all the students who have had her in previous semesters will know what a remarkable instructor she is. Unfortunately, she got ill about halfway through our semester and was unable to complete the semester. We look forward to seeing her again in the future. But in her absence, CJ Park did a wonderful job, along with me, who did an okay job, in getting the students through the rest of their semester and keeping them focused and on target. And without further ado, I'd like to invite up Tulasha Thapa and Maria Abreu. Are you want to use the podium? Okay, afterwards come sit down.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maria Abreu, and I'm a sophomore student at Queensborough. I came from the Dominican Republic to the United States 2 years ago, seeking a better future and opportunity. And I have to say that the Asian Social Justice Internship has been an amazing opportunity for me. I have the privilege to interview a Comfort Woman victim. Her name is Yeon-Soo Lee. Yeon-Soo Lee is not only a survivor, but she's also an activist, and she defends human rights. And I would like to support her in her cause by sharing with you my experience. Before the actual interview, we spent a lot of time preparing ourselves and learning different techniques and strategy of how to do an interview. The actual interview took place on November 18 of this year. It was via Skype. Although there was a significant distance between Ms. Lee, and us, we were able to build a connection. Miss Lee confesses that her childhood was very simple and that she couldn't afford an education because she was taking care of her little siblings. Also, at the age of 15, she was kidnapped by Japanese soldiers. What was more sad for me to know is the fact that she wasn't even aware that there was a war, meaning that sometimes we are walking around the world and we don't even know what is happening around us, and we have to pay for something that we don't deserve. After the war passed and Miss Lee could go back home, she didn't get the support from her family. She felt very lonely because she thought she was like nobody else that could support her. But after the time passed, she decided to tell others because she heard from other women that had the courage and they were brave to share their stories, no matter if they were judged. Now, Ms. Yonsu Lee, she's 88 years old, and she's more motivated and determined than before to share her story and fight for human rights. She don't want this generation to go through what she went through. She don't want this story to repeat again. And what she's asking for is an apology from the Japanese government. And I'm pretty sure they are able to forgive them, but the Japanese government don't offer them a sincere apology, but they are more than willing to accept it. And I am committed, and it's a pleasure for me to share her story with you. And I just want to inform others, and I want to inform myself, and make sure that her story doesn't die with her. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tulasha Thapa, and I came here from Nepal. I came here in New York in order to extend my education. In the journey of my life, I came to experience such a great opportunity, which is doing internship in Holocaust Center, as well as being part of many clubs and serving as a member of student government in QCC as a title for Vice President for Evening Students. This is my third semester at QCC, and I moved from Nepal in New York about 2 years ago. Since I came from Asian background, but I never got a chance to know more about Asian women or any other Asian countries. But this internship at QCC has not only highly informed about the comfort women, but also provided me the insider view into Korean comfort women and expand my understanding about history. I strongly feel that this internship has become an important opportunity in my life. The other opportunity I got from this internship was to interview one of the comfort women survivor, Yonsu Lee. Everything that she said has a great impact in my life, but when she came back from that comfort zone, experiencing those problems, facing all those critical situations and coping with that miserable life, her family thought that she was dead. Her family, when they saw her in front of them, they thought that's her ghost, and it was such a shocking moment for her. I can imagine her situation at that time. I can feel her, how she was feeling at that time. And I really don't have words to explain her situation. When she was seeking that love, that warm affection from her family, they just pushed her away, thinking that that's her ghost. Not even her family members, her friends, her relatives, they didn't accept her. But after some time, she became strong, thinking that that might happen to some other women around her. So she started fighting for rights. She started to protect all other women, and she started to speak up for the right. Even though this internship is going to end, and she is not within us, but her story is all within us. So I make sure and I promise to educate my all other people that are around here, and I want to share her story all among the community. Finally, with this internship, I was able to ground the critical information about comfort women and learned a lot. When I was interviewing the comfort women, Young Suli, I had learned many things from her, like trust yourself, never give up, and always fight for the right, and one day you will get that. Still, she is fighting, so I hope she will get whatever she wants, and she will get that right. It's my gratitude to thank all of the Holocaust members for providing me this golden opportunity and hoping to do this internship once again in the future. And thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope you learned a lot from me. Thank you.
Let me just say that the Asian social justice interns worked in groups on these presentations. So I'd like to take a chance, obviously, to thank the bravest ones who agreed to be the presenters on behalf of the group, but I'd like the whole group to stand so we can acknowledge you for a moment. All right, you can go. All right. We have one more group left to go, and that is our Holocaust internship group. And right. So if I could have all of the Holocaust interns for a moment who are here, I know that there was a lot of conflict in the Holocaust internship group, but if you could please stand, and I'll ask that the survivors who worked with the students can also stand so we can acknowledge you and thank you for your help and your work. Thank you all so much. I'd like now, for the Holocaust internship group, we had a slightly different structure. Oh, let me say, first of all, the leader of this internship, Marissa Berman Hollywood. I see I don't need to explain why she's not here. She's on her honeymoon, and so could not be here today. I must say that she's been gone since Monday, so there's two important things to note. One, the center has come to a complete standstill, as anyone who knows Marissa could have predicted. And number two, she keeps sending me emails. I think she's in Barcelona. Sagrada Familia was great, but here's what I want you to say about the interns. So, again, two things that won't surprise anyone who knows her.
And obviously the marriage is taking hold.
I'd like to invite up for this group Jackie Abreu. Jackie, I'm sorry, I'm blinking. Addeo, not Abreu. Sorry, Maria, you got me confused. Jackie Addeo, please come up. And the survivor you interviewed, please bring Ethel. And Felice, if you want to help facilitate, that would be great too. The one thing I want to say as preface is that we, as part of this course, prepare the students to meet with the survivor, and then the students reach out to the survivors on their own and set up meeting times. They usually meet at the center or at the survivor's home. And why don't you slide down one so that Felice can help with that phone? They usually meet at the survivor's home or here at the center, and it's always fascinating to listen in on their conversations. I didn't get to listen in on this conversation, but I did see Felice and Ethel a couple days later, and they couldn't stop going on and on about the remarkable student who had interviewed Ethel. And I think that, not to put too much pressure on you or anything.
Not at all.
But you're remarkable, and please, I'll stop speaking now. Thank you, Jackie.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jacquelyn Addeo. I'm from Long Island, New York, the Huntington Station area, and I came to Queensborough Community College and enrolled in the massage therapy program. I have one more semester left, and I'll be graduating in May, that I'm definitely looking forward to it. I actually got the opportunity to be part of the Holocaust internship, which was a small dream come true. Most of my very close friends know that I have a very dear love for the history of the Holocaust and the survivors that come with it. And when I was given this, I couldn't be any more happier. Just knowing that I was going to be in a classroom setting with other people who want to know and learn more about it makes me realize that there are other people who want to put an end to hate crimes and genocides and anything that comes along with that. My survivor is Miss Ethel Katz that I got to sit with, which was an remarkable experience, and her daughter Felice, who was more than happy to help. Miss Ethel Katz was born in Poland in 1922. She came from a family of 7, an older sister, a twin brother, and 2 younger brothers who were also twins, and her mom and dad. She unfortunately lost her mom prior to World War II really breaking through in a hospital due to not the best of care. And then she lost her twin brother to one of the first actions that took place in her town, which, excuse me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but Bushash? Okay. And she lost him during one of their biggest actions, killing rabbis and young men. From that moment on, it was then surviving the Holocaust. Many of you know that people were either sent to camps or were just murdered, but
What?
I don't know.
What'd you say? To the gas chambers.
Oh, to gas chambers. But Ethel and her family, who were remaining, her older sister, her 2 twin brothers, and her father, actually had to be on the run and try to find a way to survive. They lived in the city and then went and tried to find a hideout in their farmhouse that was about 14 kilometers away from where they were in another town. Throughout the Holocaust and throughout World War II, they were on the run, going from different homes, from their farm home to other places such as the fields, crops, anything that they could find some type of survival in. They did end up going back to their farmhouse a few times where they did have people willing to help them, to keep them hidden, and then some people who were not so nice to keep them hidden and really turned them away where they had no place to go. Finally, they were able to make it back where nobody was in the home, and they hid out in top of the attic. Unfortunately, on March 8th, 1944, they were surrounded by military, and their position was given up. Her father had them, her father had them leave, and she was hit on the head, and they thought she was dead. She remembers them saying that it was not worth using a bullet on a dead Jew, and they left her going after her 3 siblings, who they found in the fields. They brought them back, found her father, and unfortunately they were murdered, leaving them there in the snow. Thankfully, somebody from a neighboring town, Polish teens, heard what was happening and came for Ethel, who was laying in the ground unconscious. They had her hidden for 2 weeks in their home until the first Russian liberation. At that time, the Polish teen took Ethel back to her family and decided to build a grave for her family who were left. This probably was one of the most, this definitely impacted me.
This was what happened was the young boy who his family had known my mother's family. And so he dug a grave that my mother stood by, and she said she felt like stone. And then after the bodies, which were desecrated, were put in the grave all together, the young boy, 17 years old, said, "Every human being deserves a decent burial." Now you're starting me.
Sorry.
Never forget that.
And he
A
said,
Christian boy said a Christian prayer for Jewish people.
she's the only one not
I'll
crying.
never forget that.
I think that part of the story really impacted me the most because in a time where the world is imploding around you and you have such strong hatred towards one group, you have this little glimmer of hope on humanity that somebody who is meant to hate another human being took a time out to really offer that respect. And I think that really is what, in my opinion, helped Ethel go on for the rest of the war. After that, unfortunately, that, like I said, was the first Russian liberation, meaning that there was a second. Germany actually made it back into the town and into her part of Poland after Russia came in. She then made it back to her home in the city, where by some glimmer of hope, there was a little passageway in the attic where she stayed for a very long time as actually German soldiers occupied the downstairs of her home.
4 months.
Yes, 4 months with no food, no water. And she went into such grave detail that she could have handled the hunger, but the thirst made her insides feel as if it were sandpaper. And I don't know about you, but I could probably never handle that. But I feel that the fact that that young man gave her family that opportunity, that something small inside of her helped hold on to the fact that there may be hope, that there will be peace one day. In 1947?
It was July. She was liberated the second time, July 44.
Thank you. Okay, so July 44 was the second liberation, which then gave her the opportunity to go and try to find a place. I believe the population of her town was 25,000.
Of which
13,000 were Jews. After the first liberation, there were 800 Jews left. After the second liberation, there were only 50. There is a picture of the last surviving 50, the oldest being a grandfather and the youngest actually being his grandchild. She then made it to America and was very fortunate enough to find her husband on her trip to America and then have a wonderful family, which her daughter Felice is here and always willing to help. And I took so much away from this experience. Being that I want to go into massage therapy, I would love to work with trauma patients. And this gave me an opportunity to sit in front of somebody and listen to their story who went through something that was so traumatic. However, she, as you can see, has not cried. She is a stone here. And I think it helps me remember and to realize that trauma is something that all of us will carry through. It doesn't go away. And that healing is not something that can be complete. Ethel has done this time and time again, as well as all the other survivors who will relive that moment over and over again. And the last thing that I took away was that she explained to me that her dad used to say to her, prior to them having to escape, they actually said goodbye to each other so many times. I don't know if I could actually do that to my family, the amount of times that she said that they said goodbye to each other. And her father would always say, who will tell the world of what happened? And when I asked Ethel what happens when she does her own presentations, she says that she sees her father in front of her and that she's speaking for him. On my car ride home, which was probably one of the most bittersweet car rides home ever because I had such a wonderful experience, and unfortunately that moment ended, but I have a lifelong friend now. I remember looking down and her book that she had written is called Our Tomorrows Never Came. And my final thought is that that's not true. You have a wonderful family. You got to start such a wonderful legacy for your father. And although you see your dad when you say his story and your story, I will see you and I will be your tomorrow from now on and to tell your story to whoever needs to hear it because it's not something that should continue. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you all
Sorry.
so much. Thank you. No, take your time. I think we all know what Felice and Ethel were talking about when they spoke about the amazing young woman who came to interview them. And so, we come to the moment when we acknowledge our students and award them with certificates, ours, and the ones from elected officials who will be receiving copies of all your final reflection pieces. So kick them up a notch. I'm just kidding. But I'm going to have you come up group by group. So why don't we actually start with the Holocaust group, if you're ready. Come on up. The whole group, please come up to the front. Thank you. Come on. Just maybe stand up and please. Is Melissa here? Melissa Baptiste? Here you go. Thank you so much. Tamika? Tamika Edwards? No, she's not here. Miriam Hira? Not here?
She's not here.
Shru Romani? No? I only got the first name out. Christian Riley? No? Kairun Chowdhury? Is that you? No? Daniel. Oh, here we go. Daniel, come on over. Daniel Gamara Munoz. Thank you so much. We missed our open shot. Jody Ann Grant? Just one shot. Come on back. We'll do it. We'll do it the right way. Let's open it up. Here we go. Christy Addy? I'm glad you're Professor. Sadie Ann Desart? Hi. There's two things I want to tell you about Sadie Ann before the photo. One is that Sadie Ann filled in for us. We do a partnership with Queens College on a Kristallnacht event every year. And Sadie Ann, usually we use a Holocaust intern from a previous semester who's already interviewed a survivor, but Sadie Ann was only partially through this semester's internship program, but volunteered and met with Elena Berkowitz, who was the survivor she interviewed, and got on stage less than a week later and had such a profound impact on the people in the audience that I'm still hearing about it today. And that's one of the reasons that her instructor, the aforementioned Mrs. Hollywood, has selected her to be the Joanne Blumen intern for this semester. So there's an extra acknowledgement. So congratulations. Oh, and now with the open certificate. You got to flash your cash. There we go. Excellent. And I think with no further ado, I can present the certificate to Jackie Addeo. And let me just say that Jackie Addeo was also awarded by her instructor with another one of the named and endowed internships. So we have to offer each semester. And she is the Cheryl and Stephen Levine intern. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, all of the Holocaust students. All right, Asian social justice students, come on up. Here, I'll read the names. Here, you stand over here and you can hand the certificate. Tulasha Thapa, of course, the last person in the row. Congratulations. And would you want to hold that? Here, why don't you get on the other side of her? Here we go. We'll do a little choreography. Thank you. Stephanie Cabrera, congratulations. Just go back one step. Thank you. Chris is not here yet. He'll be here. Maria Abreu, I know I saw you. Stand up. Good job, thank you. Kenameste? No, it's not here. Yes. Janellis Cintron, come on over. Congratulations. Which number internship is this? Is this 3? Janellis, this is also the 3rd of our 3 internships that Janellis has done while here at Queensborough Community College. Wait, where are you going? Thank you. Melissa Reinhardt. And I must say, Melissa was the Cheryl and Stephen Levine Holocaust intern last spring. So this is your 2nd or 3rd? Second. 3rd is coming next semester. There you go. And Midge. Let me say, Midge also, on very short notice, agreed to join in at the Queens College Kristallnacht commemoration and also spoke very beautifully, and we were really honored to have 2 such strong students representing our program there. And this is your 2nd or 3rd? Okay. And it's Midge's 2nd internship working on 3 next semester. All right. Thank you all, Holocaust interns. And now, to help hand out the certificates for the hate crimes group, Jen. Here, let me set these down for a second. And hate crimes students, please come up. All right. Indira Jean. Here we go. Let's take a photo. Are you okay? I'm shy. All right. Are you okay? All right. We try not to, after a whole semester of not traumatizing students, we try not to do it with the photographs. Yuanbing Liu. And I'd like now to introduce again Chowdhury Rahman, who is this semester's Dr. Arthur Flug intern. Thank you so much, Chowdhury. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jen. I'd like just one more time, if I could, to ask all of our interns to stand and be acknowledged. You truly honor us all by having participated in this program. Thank you, all of you who have participated in the program, and all of you that help make it happen, and all of you that are here to cheer on these wonderful students. Thank you all for coming. Oh, one more thing. Our last lecture of this semester is going to be on Sunday. It's the last Dr. B.B. and Owen Bernstein lecture. We have a wonderful scholar from the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum coming to speak about the International Tracing Service archives. If you don't know, the work they do is remarkable, tracing the steps of family members, both of survivors and of victims, throughout Europe during the Second World War. She'll be here to tell us what they can do and maybe even to do it for some of us. So it would be a wonderful thing, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, and thank you all so much.